Well, hello everyone, Dylan here. Happy Throwback Thursday, and the rotation leads us to a Star Wars review. Probably would have expected a 2015 Star Wars set review, but this is one of a couple ones that I'll do in between in the rotation. But yeah, so this which is on the Droid Starfighter from 2010 and the Geonosian Starfighter from 2011. So on the front of the manuals have a picture of the sets that there are in action and the Lego Star Wars logos and the different borders from this time and also the set numbers. On the back, how to win on the online survey. Then ad for Lego Club, advertisement of all the other sets from this time, which I previously reviewed for Throwback Thursday. Little promotional poster, also of the sets of this time. And more advertisements for other sets. And again. And another little promotional poster. And then all the features of the set. And then the pieces included. And the last building steps. And these two of which previously reviewed for Throwback Thursday, so check those out. And that is it there. And now, on to the minifigs. And first of which, for the Droid Starfighter, is the rocket battle droids, which you get two of in this set. But however, and these which that also came in the Hyena Droid Bomber the year prior, so they were not quite exclusive for that. But also like in that set, the binocular piece acting as kind of the rocket jetpack to them, and everything else same as any other battle droid, but the head and torso piece can be still workable for Geonosian battle droids. Well, if there ever gets to be another chance for Geonosian battle droids, I expect there to be this color used for that. And of course holding a blaster there. But otherwise, still great for army building. And then also get a battle droid commander, which also came in the 2009 Hyena Droid Bomber, but also this was another way to get him at that. So, although it would have been nice if instead of that could have had just another generic rocket battle droid. Well, maybe that's for a remake, but that's just me. But still, oftentimes good to have. And now on to the ones included in a Geonosian Starfighter, which first of which is obviously a Geonosian, which the headpiece and also the torso and leg printing, which quite good for how it is, and the headpiece done quite well for how it is. And backside, which also good torso printing as well, but however this design of which also carried on into the Geonosian canon the following year. So that, and of course in those sets did have an actual thin film wing piece to it. And so this design didn't stay exclusive for long, but yeah. But although at the time of which it was nice to get in a small cheap set. And now moving on. And next to which is Jedi Master Ki-Adi-Mundi wielding the blue lightsaber, and however the torso print was looking quite nice and quite good for how it is, and face printing, despite having the Clone Wars style from this time, it was still quite nice for how it is. And also the top headpiece, which also sculpted and done really quite well, and also some slight back head printing as well, and also good back torso printing with the hood part of his Jedi robes. And although this version did also come in a couple other in a set or two the following year as well, so not quite exclusive, but yeah. But of course, for the time, good way to get him. And lastly is the exclusive variant of Clone Commander Cody. Well, Phase 1 Clone Commander Cody. And of course, wielding the two small blasters that were introduced in sets a few years prior. And so now you're probably wondering, is he the same as the one that came in the 2008 Republic gunship? Well, sorta exclusive, but well, everything's kind of similar to that, but as the box cover says, new for this set. But it's mainly for like in the torso printing, and which is just a little bit different than in that set for that. And the helmet piece, which is quite nice for how it is, and also has the movable clone visor piece, which was quite common at this time. And then the back torso printing, which quite similar to most other clone troopers from this time. And underneath which is a generic clone trooper face that was used on a lot of clone troopers at this time. And now, aside from that, and obviously if you didn't bother getting the Republic gunship set, this was quite good cheap way to get him, since that was 120 and this was around 30 for that. So obviously great cheap way to get this fig. Yeah. And that is it with the minifigs, and now on to the sets. So first of which is the Droid Starfighter. Well, second version we've had of this set. Like the first version, which was in 2005, and the third version was in 2014. This, which is sort of in the middle of the two. Well, but actually a little similar to the 2014 version, since mainly in design, that is. But of course, a bit more bulk to it than the 2005 version for that, since that set was a smaller first time set for then. But yeah. So front part of which is comprised of mainly two different kind of cones and also a long barred piece, which you wonder that I have it in black, but it's supposed to be in light gray. But since I got it used off Bricklink, it just came with that. Yeah, but whatever. And this front part of which has the three-way plate and a few technic bits around with the Bronco Borak eye teeth pieces, probably to represent as its eyes or whatever, and some technic pieces and jagged slopes kind of holding it all together. But otherwise, main piece for that of the main design of it. And then as for the this center cockpit part, which also like the other versions can open up to that, and you can insert a battle droid or battle droid pilot into there if you want to, or at least a buzz droid like the original 2005 one. But yeah. And then as for these three spine bits, which are all over it, which made a few different hinge bricks with some like hanging brackets all around them, or with some unique bricks in there holding like vents and things, and also holding all the wedges and plates there, and a few of which that have stickers on them with these triangle symbols and the separatist symbol on there. And then also the couple that have these technic pieces on there, which with a cone on it, mainly to be its extra blasters for that. And then the far backside are these car rim pieces, and just for extra detailing. And underneath it is two little sprung long or flick fire missiles, which fire off like so. Although kind of hard to work with on this one. Well, mainly for it being on some like technic bits on there, when yet some of it a little flimsy for how that is. But let's try that again. And of course, kind of a unique build to these. Sort of like the one Old Republic set that was in 2012 for that. Where you tap on them and, well, a little effective for how that is, but yeah. But still kind of fun. And onto the back side of it, which has the like same kind of pieces as the front part, but holding some other bricks in it, like dark blue cylinders, and also these odd what's it called, slopes around it, and also these trans-orange dishes is around, representing the thrust to it. So nice to see that. And here's just a little comparison to the original 2005 version, which, as you can see, in the course of 5 years, got quite larger than how it is. Like, as you can see, this one, which has a lot more sand blue on it, and this does have black and light dark gray for that. And of course, same kind of effects, effective of pieces, or how they are, was in the same spots, but, and it also does have the same cockpit feature, but with different droid in it, being a buzz droid, which was the only fig in this one, but this one has 3 figs. Kind of strange how that is. And also doesn't have the car rim piece on it when this one does. And also same kind of engine effect, but just put on in a different way. And also same separatist symbols around for that, but just in different organization ways for that. But although this one quite good for the time, but this one a little bit better for how it is, since, and of course, since at that time Lego was like getting a little better and better as time went on. But yeah, and I guess that's about it with the Droid Tri-Fighter. And now onto the Geonosian Starfighter. And on to the other one, the Geonosian Starfighter, which, as you can see, quite good major upgrade from the original 2003 version, which that version was for episode 2, Attack of the Clones, but this one's for the Clone Wars. And also, like that set, same build, and also similar color scheme of both brown and burnt orange type of brown, but with a lot of dark and light gray mixed in. And of course, but also looking kind of close to a modern release set in terms of design, but I'll mention some of that later. But yeah, first of which, on this front area, which comprise mostly these long dark brown slopes for that, and also in both ways for that, and also this, but also a little blaster kind of part, which is just a couple Technic pieces for there, and you can swivel back and forth, which kind of nice. And then a couple of dark gray dishes in there. And as for this whole build of which is kind of just the same build, but just in 2 different directions. And held together by little, it's a Technic pin kind of bricks in there. Which almost kind of like the 2009 Count Dooku's Solar Sailor, for how that is, when there was studs faced in both ways for that. And as for this like back section, which a couple more of those bricks, and also hanging brackets on the sides holding the burnt orange curved slopes around it to make it more finished. And then also this ball turret kind of piece there, which, well, the larger ball turret, but acting as kind of its thrust part with a dish piece onto there. And kind of interesting how it's like swivel all around and such. And then as for this upper part, which some more curved slopes as well, and also more design to that, and also this little canopy cockpit part, which did get used on a lot of sets, and also just a few and a couple of tile pieces in here, and also that little printed control panel, which was used in a lot of sets previously, and a little bit more at this time and the following year. And then enough space to fit your Geonosian into there, and then close it over him very well. And now what the main feature of it is, that with these plate parts and a trapdoor kind of type piece on there, where you can like pull these down, and then also notice this piece with the trans orange cone on there, where it pulls that out and it just drops on out like a little bomb for how that is. So at least, so that quite a good little feature. Let's try that again. There. So at least kind of quite nice for how that is. But that's the only feature on this set. So now, if this set were done nowadays, I think there should be like either stunt shooters or springlet launchers, like inside or on the sides or on top of it. Probably stunt shooters for how that is. And maybe also could have a little turret for how it to be alongside. Also like the original 2003 version. Well, even though there was the Geonosian cannon out the following year of this set, so at least, well, all of that could still work out like together in a set if done in this set if it were made nowadays. But yeah, and that's about it with this with the sets. And now on to the verdict. So my overall verdict, I think these are both quite good very good sets for how they are. Like for the $30 that they each were back in 2010 and 11, I say still quite good for how they are. Like both of which have 3 minifigs each. Well, in the case of the Geonosian Fighter, at least good to have 3 good minifigs, especially for Clone Commander Cody, since he did come in like a couple of expensive sets prior and also a little later than that. And also good to have a Geonosian and Commander Mundi also in a small set. And whereas for the Droid Starfighter, I think instead of the Battle Droid Commander, I think it's instead could have had just another generic rocket battle droid. Well, maybe if this were made now, that could work out as like the main build of a super battle pack or whatever. Well, although this at the time was kind of works out as a quite good mega battle pack where there's 3 battle droids and it's a small price. But yeah, but however, the main build of which major upgrade from the 2005 version, even though some of which, and of course this design did carry on onto the 2014 version. But yeah, and despite having flick fire missiles for that, I think, well, since the 2014 version did quite better than that. But yeah, and whereas for the Geonosian Fighter, barely much playability to it, but both of which saw its whoosh ability. But for the Geonosian Fighter, barely much play with it, like just the dropping feature and that's it. But once again, if it were made now, I would expect there to be springlet launchers or just stud shooters on the top part or whatever. Yeah, well, that if it were made nowadays, I would expect that. And also, and obviously a couple of other Geonosian, an extra Geonosian, like a zombie Geonosian or whatever. But once again, for the $3 that they each were at the time, or $25 for the Droid Starfighter, I say still quite good for how they are. And despite being worth a bit more now, I say still worth it for that. And so now, if any of you still have these sets from back in the day, well, I hope you had some good memories of them. And for those of you who haven't and are still looking to get these sets, I say definitely pick them up. eBay, Bricklink, Mercari, Bricks and Minifigs, whatever. And that's about it with this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.